Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm the inspirational Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And I'm back and better than ever, got a knack for making things really whack.
Coming up, I give to charity because I am kind. But I've got a fact about AEW that'll blow your mind.
Don't go for a piddle, because we've got the latest on Matt Riddle.
That wrestler called Foley, his first name be Mick. And I've got a story about a wrestler who's famous for his dick.
Mondays can be stressful, but you can relax, because we've got the blocks for the G1 Climax.
Is that roof leaking? Are we getting damp? I'm going to tell you about new tag team champs. This is the news.
We are going to kick things off with something big that's going down on tonight's Monday Night Raw.
I'm excited and terrified at the same time by this.
Yeah, this could go either way. Bray Wyatt, he's going to be back. He's going to be live and in the house. It's going to be his first live appearance on WWE or on any WWE show that was filmed since Starrcade back in November, a long time ago. Obviously, he's been doing the Firefly Funhouse segments over the past few months, but he is now apparently going to be taking these to a live audience. Now, this isn't in the WWE.com preview for Raw, but it has been reported by PW insiders Mike Johnson, who's usually bang on the money when it comes to things like this. So we can expect to see Bray on Raw, probably to do some kind of live Firefly Funhouse, but who knows, maybe he'll batter someone and set himself up with a feud. Now, oh man, the deviations for how this could go are massive. Break it down, Adam Wilborn.
This is the best thing that has been on Raw for the past few months.
Here he goes.
Don't you dare screw this up, Vince. No, I'm really excited for him to get his chance to, develop this a little bit. And these packages, despite the fact that he's not really done a lot else since the Raw after WrestleMania, these packages have just blown me away. I never thought I'd be sat here in 2019 going, oh, I'm really excited to see what they do with Bray Wyatt every week on Raw, but I am. And I've loved what they've done. The Muscle Man dance, I really liked the one last week where he killed Rambling Rabbit and then sold his insides in a jar. It's been phenomenal. But let's be honest, we're all absolutely terrified now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to approach this with a degree of trepidation, given the way creative has gone, particularly in 2019. But at the same time, the Funhouse segments have been phenomenal. They've been great stuff. A little snippet came out in a Wade Keller interview with an associate of various WWE writers a few months ago that basically said that Bray's been writing them himself. He's been given creative carte blanche to just create his own world. The concern becomes if Vince gets his hand on these things, as you would expect if he was doing one live on Raw, then maybe lose a little bit of the appeal. But, I'm going to approach this with a glass half full and hope that it rules. Even if it doesn't, if it's a great disaster and it's hilarious, we can just have fun laughing at it.
Look, I want to see the character do well. So wherever Raw is tonight, if you're going, please show as much support as possible. React in the appropriate ways. Be terrified if it's meant to be scary. Laugh if it's meant to be funny. Just give it all the support and let's not poo-poo all over it if 1 week in it goes all wrong.
Yeah, give it a chance to write itself. But have you seen the photo that's doing the rounds?
No.
Of Bray in full gimmick, holding his baby with JoJo beside him. I know where this is going, brother. Wyatt Family 2.0 confirmed.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Right, let's move on.
Take that to the bank.
Let's move on to some more developments regarding WWE and AEW. Now, it wouldn't really come as a surprise to any of us to hear that some wrestlers are already eyeing up a move to AEW, but per the latest report from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, apparently those under contract in WWE, the number of those who've already contacted AEW is, quote, mind-blowing. Dave continued saying that Vince did not see this coming. He says AEW's had insane momentum, as we all sort of know. He said WWE didn't expect this to keep growing. They would have thought it was beginner's luck the first time, but now they can't say that. Look, people are speculating about, obvious people won't be leaving. Roman Reigns isn't going anywhere, but the number of people who've already sort of gone, how long have I got left on my contract? And maybe just slid into the DMs of Cody, the Young Bucks et al. And said, any chance?
Hey, pal, what you got
It's going to be shocking. So, you wanted competitiveness, you wanted a bit of a challenge, WWE, you sure have got it now.
Yeah, here we go. This is kind of a continuation on a lot of stuff we've heard recently, isn't it? But the idea of the number being mind-blowing really is something else. Imagine if it was like several dozen. It's kind of crazy. Although, It's worth pointing out, though, like, at various points, like, you know, a lot of us assume all these WWE guys could go to AEW and be presented better and have better matches and have more compelling characters and all this stuff. But it's worth mentioning, tempering this by saying that Cody has come out and said that, you know, we're not just going to hoover up every ex-WWE guy.
This isn't TNA.
Exactly. Like, they passed on TJ Perkins. They passed on, like, guys like Austin Aries. Guys who have a certain temperament to them, shall we say. They're not just they don't want to be TNA. They don't want to have a roster that is entirely comprised of all these ex-WWE mid-carders who were then immediately promoted as the next big thing. Now, they will pull out the checkbook for a guy like Jon Moxley, who's proven already that he can be a buzz generator. If somehow Seth Rollins became available, they'd be idiots not to sign him. The Revival are another one. Sasha Banks, people who the fans are actually really invested in. But with all due respect to someone like Arya Daivari, if he becomes available, I don't think that immediately Cody Rhodes is going to throw millions and millions of bucks at him and promote him as an upper mid-carder.
They do need people. Look, I don't expect, even if all your favourite WWE superstars went to AEW, don't expect them to be pushed to the moon, because they need mid-carders, they need jobbers. You know, they ummed and ahed and eventually signed Sean Spears, aka Ty Dillinger, but we all kind of know his ceiling up until a point. You know, he may well break out into AEW, but up until now, you'd say, well, we said last week when they signed him, great mid-card signing, fantastic work. But yeah, they're not just going to go, oh, your contract's up, well, let's come and just give you all the money to come and wrestle for us. They're very strategic in who they sign.
Yeah, they want to try and avoid the TNA disasters of guys like Orlando Jordan and Junior Fatu, of course, Rikishi, who came over for a cup of coffee, took the pay, and then buggered off. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit about NXT. We're going to talk a little bit about Matt Riddle, a guy we cover a lot here because he is so damn good that he is constantly linked with main roster call-ups and matches with Brock Lesnar and spots in Battle Royals at Super Showdown, but looks like there has been a change of plan. So in a report that kind of contradicts a lot of recent stories, Shagger Dave Meltzer, our beloved wrestling uncle, the swole god of wrestling journalists, has come out and basically said that Matt Riddle will be in developmental for a long, long time. WWE are in absolutely no mood to rush him onto Raw or SmackDown and potentially hinder his development. This has meant that they have cancelled...
Unlike everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Literally everyone else. This has meant that they have cancelled plans to have him wrestle for the NXT Championship at the upcoming TakeOver event in Toronto, which will now be headlined by Cole versus Gargano Brie. Instead, looking at the tapings, it looks like Riddle is going to be facing Killian Dane, perhaps not in a TakeOver match, perhaps it'll be resolved on TV. Either way, I think that, you know, people don't like us when we get all cynical and stuff, but I think that anyone who's a fan of Matt Riddle will be overjoyed to hear that he'll be in NXT for a lot longer rather than meeting the same fate of some fellow former NXT people on Raw.
Yeah, I'm sort of divided in the way I feel about this. I'm gutted that he's not going to be pushed up to the main roster soon and, you know, decapitate Brock Lesnar straight away or whatever, but that's only because I feel like he could save the main roster, whereas him staying down in NXT, I'm like, oh, cool, so he'll stay down there, get better, and just continually put on bangers at TakeOver. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds all right. The future is bro. That's right. Really weird.
Right, let's move on and update you on Joey Ryan. Now, of course, there was a lot of speculation about Joey Ryan's future a while back. A lot of people saying, well, we reported he may well have signed for WWE. And AEW were, of course, knocking around as well. Joey Ryan has provided an update on why he didn't sign with either WWE or AEW, but instead decided to stay on the indies. He said, I'm making better money than these contracts can offer to start, so I'd be taking a pay cut and essentially starting over. We've had discussions about it, and it just didn't make any sense. It just felt like it'd be irresponsible to myself and where I'm at with my life, finances, geography, and creativity. It would be a gamble that I don't really necessarily need to take. He said that on Sam Roberts' podcast recently, and I've met him, I've spoken to him about this on numerous occasions now, and I remember finding out that he basically just, you know, financed his life, bought this wonderful house with his then, well, she is still his wife now, but bought this wonderful house off the money he's made off independent wrestling. If you're happy doing what you're doing, just because of these two promotions vying for your signature, doesn't mean you have to sign for either of them.
No, exactly. Good for Joey, man. Like, it's really good to see someone make such a healthy living off independent wrestling, particularly at a time when all, like, AEW's just emerged, WWE is still a powerhouse, New Japan exists, all these kind of things. It's really good to see someone betting on themselves and just taking their destiny into their own hands and just saying, no, I don't need a big contract. I don't need other people telling me how I present my character and work my matches and stuff. I'm going to do my thing. He is certainly, probably, now that Jon Moxley's been snapped up, he is probably the biggest free agent on the market. I mean, I can't really think of any others off the top of my head, unless there's a really obvious one. I'm sure the comment section will let us know about that. But yeah, good for him, man. Nothing but success. Regardless of what you think of the guy's act, he's certainly very divisive. He is unquestionably a major indie success story, and it's impossible to feel bad about that.
And if you're a fan of his and you're saying, well, yeah, I still want to see him on these big companies, he's not said he's not going to, ever. I feel like a lot of people, when AEW launched, were like, right, this person needs to go here, this person needs to go here. I like it to be a little bit staggered. Look, we're still enjoying Jon Moxley being in and around, outside of WWE. Yeah. So let's stagger it a little bit. Joey Ryan coming in a year into AEW, for example, could be a real coup and develop more buzz.
Popper. Yeah, exactly. And let's not forget that not signing doesn't mean he may not appear from time to time. AEW used a lot of unsigned talent at Double or Nothing, so who knows, maybe he might show up in kind of a guest capacity. Shall we pivot over to New Japan?
Yes.
So at the weekend, they announced the participants and full blocks for the G1 Climax, the most grueling and intense tournament in wrestling. It's a round robin. It has 2 blocks of 10. The winners of those go on to meet in the finals, and the winner gets a guaranteed contract for an IWGP heavyweight title shot in the Tokyo Dome main event. They'll usually defend that briefcase a couple of times. Anyway, we got the participants here. They were announced at Kazuna Road over the weekend. In Block A, we'll just run through them. Kazuchika Okada, Zack Sabre Jr., Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kota Ibushi, Evil Sanada, Bad Luck Fale, Lance Archer, Will Ospreay, and Kenta, the former Hideo Itami, of course. In Block B, we have Tetsuya Naito, Tomohiro Ishii, my favourite wrestler ever, Juice Robinson, Toru Yano, Hiroki Goto, Jay White, Jeff Cobb, Shingo Takagi, Taichi, and Jon Moxley. These are stellar.
Yeah, that is a pretty good. My mouth is watering quite a lot with some of those potential matchups.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, there's all kinds of big, bad 4.5-star fodder on this. You will have all kinds of great matches. Shingo versus Ishii is one of my personal highlights. But there's also all kinds of mad stuff, like an Okada-Zack Sabre rematch. They had some great matches. We're going to get another Okada-Tanahashi match. For God's sake, the best in-ring feud in modern wrestling will continue. There are some big takeaways as well, just looking at the list of participants. Ospreay is the junior heavyweight champion. Shingo is still technically a junior heavyweight as well. They're both in the tournament. They made their demands during and after, in Ospreay's case, the recent Dominion show the other weekend. Kenta, of course, debuted at Dominion and has announced his participation there. He's in the tournament. We're going to see him in New Japan properly for the first time ever, indulging in dream matches against the likes of Okada and Tanahashi. That's ridiculous. We've also got Moxley in there. We're going to get a true measure of what he can do against some of New Japan's biggest and best. There is no sign of the worst wrestler in the world, Tama Tonga, which is a real shame. Boo-hoo. There's also no Minoru Suzuki as well, which is slightly disappointing, but the guy's 50 years old. Maybe he just doesn't want to bust his ass on this grueling tour anymore. Either way, can't wait for the G1. I know it's going to burn me out by the end, but there are some absolute crackers in that lineup.
Best of luck to Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. Come on, boys.
Come on, the boys.
Right, final news story of the day. Just a very quick update when it comes to the AAA Tag Team Championships in a Double or Nothing rematch, which I would be happy to watch again and again and again. It was the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks, and this time Zero Miedo were victorious. The Lucha Brothers defeating the Young Bucks to become AAA Tag Team Champions at yesterday's Verano Escalando event. I just thought I'd go balls to the wall with that.
Yeah, why not go in? But I haven't seen the match yet, but by all accounts it was a fantastic showing, on par with the Double or Nothing match. Significantly shorter, it came in about 12 minutes, but I do believe there was a bit of a screwy finish. There was a second referee involved who counted the pinfall, came in after a package pile driver and a double stomp to Nick Jackson. The Young Bucks complained afterwards, so we're almost certainly getting another match. And let's not forget, at Fyter Fest we've got the big 6-man tag with the Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite versus the Lucha Brothers and a mystery partner who was originally supposed to be Pac. Exciting stuff. This has been one hell of an in-ring feud so far. Can't wait to see how it continues. Maybe all out.
Yeah, agreed. More of this, please. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from me, the 6, you, the 9. who says, if WWE goes ahead with Shane winning the SmackDown or the WWE Championship from Kofi, how should he win it? General interference? General, I require no interference from his group, or would that be the ideal time for Big E and Xavier to turn on Kofi?
Oh, both good possibilities. I think that the most logical thing, if he is going to win from a storytelling possibility standpoint, is that Shane wins via interference from his boys. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore, all that stuff. You screw the babyface champion out.
The Revival.
Yeah. Like, if you absolutely have to have Shane win the title, that's the way to do it. But wouldn't it just be kind of hilarious to watch the social media reaction if he just beat Kofi with like that crap triangle? Like he just dominated, like he did. Like if he just out-wrestled Kofi Kingston, as stupid and ridiculous as that would be, I think all the comments would be really funny.
Shane versus Kofi in a catch-as-catch kind of wrestling match.
God.
Right, second question today comes from Hassan Arpo on Twitter, who says, now that Moxley's in the G1, do you think not winning it would hurt his momentum going forward?
No, absolutely not. There's no way in hell John Moxley's winning the G1 Climax. Absolutely no chance. He is not main eventing the Tokyo Dome next year. He will not be fighting for the IWGP Heavyweight title. He will probably go something like 5-4. That's going to happen, and that's what's best, because New Japan is a promotion where you can get over and defeat. It's not like WWE where guys are constantly buried when they lose and look like dorks. You know, a couple of losses here and there don't matter. And also with Moxley's style, he can easily and believably take disqualifications for excessive weapon use in the ring, cheating, countouts, because he loves crowd brawling, it seems. No, I don't think it'll harm him, and get ready for it, because he is going to lose 3, 4, 5 matches in that, and he's not winning it. No way.
But it is going to be some. There's going to be some absolute barn burners.
Absolutely.
Final question today comes from Daniel Navarro, who says Chad Gable is looking for a new partner. Titus O'Neil took out the Viking Raiders during the Super Showdown, Battle Royal, and was the inaugural 24/7 champion. Gable and Titus, apologies to headphone users, Gable worldwide! Thoughts, Andy Murray?
My initial thought is that my tinnitus just got a whole lot worse. I mean, sure, yeah, cool. Do something fun with Chad, it'd be fun. Yeah. He did have a little banger match with Jack Gallagher on 205 Live last week, so I'd like to see that continue. But
just put him on telly, I love him. He's just a really good wrestler.
He gets.
I'm talking about Titus here, by the way.
Oh, of course, yeah. Titus, technical genius. I really like Titus as well. Like, obviously not as much as the big man here, but like, yeah, he's a fun guy. He's a nice guy to have around, and he like falls over and is good banter, and he's a lovely bloke with kids and stuff. Yeah. Also, Chad's like, he's really good.
Yeah, he's pretty good as well. Right, let's move on to today's and finally. And of course, yesterday was Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Shout out to all the great dads out there.
Shout out. And shout out to the winner of the best tweet, not Jason Jordan tweeting Kurt Angle saying Happy Father's Day, which was good, but in fact, Samoa Joe, because I love him. He's just amazing at everything, isn't he? He tweeted yesterday, I'd like to express my gratitude for the overwhelming amount of Happy Father's Day wishes I've received from the many people I've sunned over my career. Sincerely, the champion of the United States of America. What a guy.
Really good stuff. My only disappointment is that he didn't send a little message to Dominic Mysterio.
Yes.
Or Ray,
Or AJ's kid. Yeah. Daddy's going night-night. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can send us Twitter questions at WhatCultureWWE. Whilst you're there, you can follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for hangry.
You can follow me. I'm going to get you some toast.
Yeah.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. You can follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. My thanks to Andy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
What if you took the slice of toast and put it between 2 bits of bagel? Double carbs.